Thanks for your time, Rajesh, and congratulations for the Red Hat Forum that is being organized in New Delhi. We'd like to touch upon how Red Hat is growing with respect to the digital India movement, and how do you see the participation of enterprises with respect to open source?
Thank you very much for inviting me to talk to you guys. This is a great day for us. Red Hat Forum is in Delhi. Delhi has such a vibrant community of developers, such great enterprises, and of course the government here, that it makes for a very good event. It's coming together of multiple different stakeholders from the open source community coming together for a day, trying to understand the developments, the new, interesting things in the community, so on and so forth. Coming to your question on Digital India. Digital India is, of course, a much talked about subject and covers a gamut of many different things, right? But the way I would like to understand it is Digital India at the core of it is about connecting the billion plus citizens of India and bringing them on a common platform whereby they can share, they can collaborate, they can learn, and of course, get other things done, right? And this is a very ambitious program, the size of which has not been seen anywhere else in the world, right? Now, if you need to connect such a large, diverse, geographically separated population, right, the only way you can do it is on a technology backbone, right? And there are different components of technology that are coming together to make that reality, make that dream a reality. Now, from a Red Hat perspective, the important element in all of that is about open source, right? When you're looking to build something that is going to be embedded in the nation's DNA, right, then you need to have pieces of technology which you can control, which you can manage. And open source allows you that benefit. Open source allows you that privilege of creating a technology platform that you have control over. That can be with you, and you can shape and modify it, over its life cycles of several, tens of years. Right? So we find Digital India a very exciting initiative, and there are different parts of Digital India that we are working with. Whether it is the university system to try and build the talent pool, the policy making organizations to emphasize the importance of open source, as well as end user organizations that will put the building blocks of what will eventually be an umbrella technology platform. So we are working with all of these stakeholders in emphasizing to them the richness of the solutions portfolio on open source, the secure, scalable nature of open source, and most importantly, the fact that open source inherently will put a lot of innovation in the hands of citizens of India that they can use in many different ways.
Absolutely. How is Red Hat trying to bridge the gap in between the Digital India campaign and the developer community, where you are actually a pioneer, in many ways?
See, the developers are an integral part of any open source, community. Right? Red Hat is very focused on the open source community, and we work with the community at multiple levels. Right? Whether it is in encouraging the community in a programmatic manner, whether participating, sharing, and providing leadership in some aspects, and being led by certain other leaders in the community. We are embedded in every aspect of the community. Right now, India is the land of the developer. Right, we have all kinds of skill sets, capabilities, organizations that are present here. And we have seen increasingly a very strong thrust from the India developer community to build skill sets, capabilities, and solutions on open source. Right now, is there a structured plan to connect, the developer community with Digital India? it doesn't quite work that way, right? What we're looking to do is build the skill sets and the capabilities, build the solution sets, and the richness of offerings on the open platform side or the open source side, right? And eventually those will find its way into the various implementations of Digital India. Okay, so Digital India, like we discussed earlier, is not one single application area. It's an umbrella program for many different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are looking to make sure that there is a rich plethora of solutions, technologies that are available, that can be pulled in at different levels, right? And the other aspect that I want to emphasize is that Red Hat works with the communities as well as with organizations that need a secure, scalable environment, right? And in that regard, our engagement model typically comprises both the options. If people need to use a community deployment in their environment, we are more than happy. We are very thrilled, and we encourage that whole approach. But at the same time, if a organization or an initiative needs that level of sophistication in the infrastructure that they have, they need that ongoing support, they need that their environment will be predictable, right? Then we are happy to work with them on a enterprise level products as well. Okay, so our approach is foster a lot of creativity and connectivity in the community, generate a lot of solutions, and then eventually see how the seeds kind of spread across the entire Digital India platform.
Absolutely. What are the monetization opportunities for developers with respect to the Digital India campaign in general, and and do you have some tips to share with the developers on how they should sort of build their applications to make them more to attach them with the Digital India initiative?
So I would like to actually answer that at a much higher level.
Sure.
Right? Digital India is a important core initiative, right? But it is one initiative. There are many other interesting things that are happening in India as well, right? There are, India is a growing economy. Infrastructure is getting created. Public and private partnerships are, opening up new enterprises, right?
Mm-hmm.
And each of these initiatives, whether it is new payment banks, whether it is new e-commerce companies, or whether it is citizen initiatives like Digital India or other ones, right? They all need a strong bedrock of technology, right? India needs scale. India needs technology to bridge the divide, and as a result of which it is important that we have technology that is reliable, scalable and affordable, and that is where open source comes in, right? So my suggestion to the developers would be that open source is a movement whose time has come. Okay, it is harnessing the power of collaboration, not only local collaboration but global collaboration. It is about the developer community around the world coming together, and creating interesting building blocks of technology, right? So if you take a view into the future, right, the open source development model will be a preferred development model whereby people build on each other's skill sets, capabilities, ideas, and help create unique solutions that come rapidly to the market, right? So from a pure India perspective, I would say that the opportunities are many. There are things happening in every sector of the economy, and for the developer, the open source as a phenomena is something that is beginning to unfold at a very, very rapid and a very large scale, right? So if you connect the two dots together, right, I think the opportunity in it is very inherent, right? So it is for everybody to seize that opportunity and build on it. I know for a fact that many number of large Indian software houses have already invested in setting up open source practices, and they're beginning to scale those up. And that, in my view, is a lead indicator of how the overall developer community is viewing both the impact of open source as well as the opportunity that is there in India.
Sure. What are the key technology domains where developers really have an opportunity in the going forward, and particularly in this transition phase where automation is taking over?
Well, see, again, there are developers at every uh, portion of the technology stack, right? In India, there is a lot of infrastructure getting created, right? From a technology standpoint, we know that the cloud journey has begun, right? Cloud provides unmatched scalability with economies of scale. It also gives you a compelling value proposition. So those things are beginning to happen. New business models are emerging, which is X as a service, pay as you use, right? And all of this, I must add, have some of them have been pioneered by Red Hat. The Red Hat subscription model, came in way before any of these things were even on the horizon. So I think all of these things are already in motion. Uh, Given the size of the opportunity, there is going to be a play for everybody. Okay, whether it is a platform person, whether it is an application person, big data, analytics, you name it, network management, all of those areas. I think there is a play for everybody. There is an open source play in it for everybody as well.
Sure. How is the outlook of the developers changing, with respect to open source? Earlier, I remember 5 years down the line, we used to hear the conversations like open source is not as much secure, open source has a very little consumption, has a very little monetization opportunity for developers. Has this discussion changed on any level in 5 years?
Significantly, for two or three reasons. See, one is that if you look at some of the mission critical projects deployed in India and around the world, right, that have used open source, have grown exponentially, right? The size and scale, meaning whether you talk about a Bombay Stock Exchange, right, one of the largest exchanges in the world, has a end-to-end technology stack that is built on open source, right? Similarly, the Indian Railways, which is again a mammoth organization, uses open source in a number of mission critical applications. So some of these myths, I would like to say, about open source being not secure, not scalable, were in a way propaganda put out by vested interest, and they are not true at all. There are any number of very robust, highly scaled out, massive infrastructures that have open source at its very heart, at the very core, and that whole process is only accelerating. We are seeing traction building up with customers across different industry segments, right? And there are many references I can cite on such large scaled out projects. Having said that, it is not only about open source and its relevance for big large scale out projects. There are any number of small and medium organizations, smallish application areas, all of which underlying are built using open source technology, right? The advent of cloud, public, private, both, right, again has given an impetus to both Red Hat solutions as well as open source.
Sure. What are Red Hat's initiatives for involving developers with the open source community?
Well, we have a very strong developer outreach as a company. Uh, as somebody who is actively engaged and embedded inside the open source community, right? We touch developers every day. Okay, like I said earlier, we lead in some areas, we provide leadership in some areas. We are happy to be led in some other areas, right? We are an active contributing member into the community, right? And that role is something that we relish, and we continue to play it on a day-to-day basis, and that puts us in regular touch with the developers. In addition to that, we actively work with a number of ISVs, a number of system integration companies, as well as talent pool in creating the capacity and the capability required to build appreciation, awareness, skill, capability, and competency on open source in the market.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time, Rajesh.
Thank you very much. Pleasure talking to you.
Thanks a lot.